Welcome to JoyTube where the truth comes alive. For as long as I can remember, Israel has been at war under the threat of her existence. A nation seen as occupants or invaders. No one will ever live happily under this kind of condition. Have you ever thought about how this affects the people's psychology or state of mind? You've seen the headlines. You've heard the explosions. But you haven't heard the cries in the dark, the lullabies interrupted by sirens, or the prayers whispered beneath rubble. This isn't a war about politics. This is a war where children are born in bunkers, and where sleep is a stranger. Let me show you what the world refuses to see. 1. The war behind closed doors. The war in Israel isn't just fought with rockets. It's fought in silence, in underground hospitals, where nurses cradle premature babies born amid chaos. It's fought in metro stations that double as bedrooms, where toddlers ask why the sky keeps screaming. 2. A nation under fire, literally. From Hezbollah's north to Hamas in the south, missiles rain down daily. And in June 2025, everything changed. Iran entered the battlefield, directly, not just through proxies, but with its own hands of fire. Tel Aviv shook under a barrage unlike anything before. You see, this war is led. It's not just one border dispute. It's Iran's ideology, Hamas' vengeance, Hezbollah's pride, all wrapped around one common enemy, Israel's very existence. 3. The unseen casualties. We often mourn the dead. But what about the living? The mother who hasn't slept in 2 weeks because her shelter is too small to lie down. The teenager who can recite the sound of an air raid siren better than his school anthem. The elderly couple, relocated 5 times in a month, yet still holding hands as the earth shakes beneath them. Behind every Iron Dome interception is a shattered window. Behind every strike, a fractured soul. 4. A war without pause. The missiles don't stop for birthdays. They don't skip Sabbath. In Israel, celebration and mourning sit at the same table. And still, the world turns its eyes away, seeing only tanks, not trauma, missiles, not mothers. Why the hate? Because Israel stands as a symbol, and for some, that symbol must be erased. The tension between Iran and Israel is one of the most entrenched and dangerous rivalries in modern geopolitics. To understand why Iran threatens Israel's existence and continues to arm and fund groups like Hamas and Hezbollah, we must go deep into ideology, history, religion, politics, and regional power struggles. 1. Iran's Islamic Revolution, A Clash of Visions, 1979. In 1979, Iran underwent a radical transformation. The Islamic Revolution overthrew the Western-backed Shah and brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power, establishing a Shia theocratic regime built on anti-Western, anti-imperialist ideology. Israel, closely allied with the U.S., the Great Satan, became labeled by the new Iranian regime as the Little Satan. Why? Because to Iran's new rulers, Israel wasn't just a state, it was a symbol of Western encroachment in the Middle East, a Jewish state in Islamic lands, Palestine, a colonial injustice in their eyes. From that moment, Iran's leadership declared Israel an illegitimate, foreign body in the heart of the Muslim world. That narrative became central to Iran's identity. 2. Ideological war, Zionism versus Islamic revolution. Iran doesn't merely oppose Israeli policy, it denies Israel's right to exist. The core belief of Iran's revolutionary regime is that Palestine must be liberated. As Zionism, the movement for Jewish self-determination in Israel, is an illegitimate, colonial, and oppressive ideology. The Jewish state is a permanent insult to Islam. This is not a debate about a two-state solution. Iran's official stance is Israel must be dismantled. That's why Iran's supreme leaders, from Khomeini to Khamenei, regularly call for the removal or eradication of Israel. This isn't political rhetoric alone. It's theological and strategic. 3. Proxy warfare, Iran's strategy without direct war. Iran funds and arms groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, or Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza, or Shiite militias in Iraq and Syria. These groups are committed to destroying Israel. Trained and supported by Iran's Quds Force, IRGC's external operations arm, are used to bleed Israel through guerrilla tactics, rocket attacks, and terrorism. Iran fights Israel from afar, through others, to avoid full-scale war. This axis of resistance is Iran's way of surrounding Israel with enemies and constantly threatening its borders, without engaging in direct conventional war, until now. 4. Regional hegemony. Israel blocks Iran's dominance. Iran dreams of Shia Islamic supremacy across the Middle East, from Lebanon to Yemen. But Israel is a major obstacle to that dream. Israel works with the US, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, all rivals of Iran. Israel bombs Iranian weapons convoys in Syria, sabotages nuclear sites, and assassinates nuclear scientists. Israel exposes Iran's influence, weakens its proxies, and prevents Tehran from freely dominating Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon. For Iran, eliminating Israel isn't just ideological, it's strategic. Removing Israel would leave a power vacuum Iran believes it could fill. 5. The nuclear threat, Israel's red line. Iran's push for nuclear weapons is a terrifying red line for Israel. Iran insists its nuclear program is peaceful, but it has enriched uranium far beyond civilian levels. It has hidden nuclear sites. It has developed ballistic missiles capable of reaching Tel Aviv. Israel sees this as an existential threat. Iran's leaders have literally said, Israel is a cancerous tumor that must be cut out. Combine that with a nuclear weapon, and you understand Israel's alarm. 6. Memory of the Holocaust. Never again. Israel was born from the ashes of the Holocaust. The idea of another state, especially a theocratic regime, openly threatening to wipe out the Jewish people is not taken lightly. For Israelis, Iran's threats aren't political posturing. They are promises. That's why Israel develops one of the world's most advanced militaries, launches cyber attacks against Iran, carries out covert assassinations, builds alliances across the Arab world, because in their view, they must strike before being struck. What the world misses, many outside observers say, why can't Israel and Iran just talk it out? But that misunderstands the conflict. This is not about borders. This is not about two governments disagreeing. This is about existence versus erasure. Iran's regime believes Israel must disappear. Israel believes it must prevent that at any cost. This isn't just Israel's war. This is a war against peace, against life, against the right to exist without fear. Let the world hear what the headlines hide. Share their story. Break the silence. Stand with the innocent, because behind the numbers are names. Behind the war is a heartbeat. Stand up for everyone's right to live and exist. Pray. Speak. Share. Stand with those who can't stand alone. If this video inspired and enlightened you, please like, share, and subscribe to JoyTube for more insight, and thanks for watching.